Hello, Mary Meet. This is a review for a magazine. And the magazine in question is Witchcraft and Wicca. It's the Lammas edition 2010, issue 19. Looks like this. And the back looks like this. So, of course, this magazine issue is, of course, long out of print. So I thought I would review it anyway, because these are the things that very often pop up on eBay and such, and it could perhaps be interesting for someone. Anyway, first of all, I really like magazines in this format because I think they are easier to read than those that are big. The same with books, really. I really prefer the A5 book format rather than the big A4 format. But that's, of course, just personal preference. So let's go with what this magazine contain. First, you have an editorial, like you very often have. And, of course, some advertisements for all sorts of things. So, then you have concealed. It contains these articles. Concealed Magic, the hidden ways of spellcasting. Somewhat interesting. Then we have The Wheel of the World Part 1. Of course, in all magazines, when you have part 1s, it can be somewhat problematic if you don't have many of the same magazines. For me, buying something like this is something like a one-off thing, because magazines can often be expensive to get to Norway. And I mean, well, there are some interesting articles. When I have to pay more than I would for a complete book, it's not worth it. So it's whenever I can get something cheap. So, but good enough for a one-parter, but still, that's what it is. Then you have The Eightfold Path and Altered States of Consciousness. It's a very good article. A Study of Magic and Consciousness is the subtitle of that. And you have From Arrows to Magic Wands. It's a divination using arrows and wands. That's a really good one. I really like that, and I love discovering new divination methods. So that's one perfect for me. You have The Key of Solomon, which basically are about the Key of Solomon and about the grimoire there. And you have Do You Do Voodoo? A personal relationship to voodoo. It's okay, but it's a pretty basic voodoo about those things that doesn't go very much in depth, but it's what it is. This I had forgotten, because it's been a while since I read this. Actually, the part 2 is in the magazine, so scratch what I said earlier, because I forgot that. Yes, part 2 is in this magazine. So then, all well, it's a good article. Then you have Enochian Magic, which is a very good article. You have Magic Tools and Do We Really Need Them? It's an okay article, but it's been done many times. Because that's a topic that's been discussed again and again and again, whether or not we actually need tools. And while there's some different opinions, generally most people agree that they can be useful, but they're hardly necessary. It's not like it's... Sorry, I just need to adjust the camera a little bit. It's not like something that if you can't afford tools, or you find yourself somewhere where you need to do some magic and you don't have your tools, that you can do it. So yeah, but anyway, it's an okay enough article, but pretty standard. Then we have Spirit Traps, how to capture the essence of spirits. Wasn't a big fan of that one. Then we have Elemental Magic and the Inner Talisman. It's okay, nothing extraordinary. With Telematic, I can't speak the telematic magic as a magical telema, which is basically, if you know nothing of the works of Aleister Crowley, this is a small little article that will give you the bare basics. And we have Aunt Tabitha's mailbag, which is basically you talk about your witchy problems, she answers you. It's a Dear Jane for witches. Mystical Art Gallery, which is basically some artists that have pagan and witchy art. Some good pieces there. We have Cyber Witch, which is basically about how to be pagan in our new and expanding online world. And have spells from the forums, which is basically various forms of spells and rituals that comes from the forums that this magazine support. And I probably then just chosen the ones I like most, or the best ones. Into that, I don't frequent that forum in particular, so I wouldn't know, but with some good, there's some good spells there. Then you have some reviews about various things, books, those kinds of things. Then you have some gatherings in the calendar, which is completely pointless when you buy it 5 years after it was made. I bought it. I've had it for a few months now, so yeah, still 5 years. But here's, for example, is an example of that mailbag thing. We have little. Let's take an example of it. We have Yo from London that says, "This is a very strange question, and I don't expect a serious response, but I need to find out if there is a spirit or was a spirit called Airlies or Airlies. I have very recently started having very unusual and scary things happen to me, and I am desperate for any information to help anyone who might be able to offer me. If anyone knows anything, please thank you for your time." And then we have, of course, a reply. "Dear Yo, I have not heard of a spirit, guardian, or god by the name of Iris, but I am not an expert in all religions. Certainly Ariel, sometimes written Uriel or Ariel, is a well-known archangel under Christian and Judic traditions. Ariel is often called with earth, knowledge and healing, and is often pictured holding a fiery sword as an angel of repentance. If this sounds right, then there is a lot of information for you, both online and in book format, to help you find out more. If this is not what you're looking for, then perhaps you could post this question out on the forums, as undoubtedly someone will know more than I." It's just as an example. So it's basically a Dear Jane column. But let's have a look at an article just to give you an idea about the length and detail work of it. Here is an article. As you can see, it's fairly small script, but still the article is that one page. It's somewhat limited how much information you can get. I do like that I have, like, for example, here you say feature, and then you have Wicca. You can pretty easily find out what the various articles are about. Practical magic, by these little sorting thingies. It's a technical term. But yeah. Do I like this magazine? Yeah, I think it is pretty good. There's not a lot of advertisement in it. It's a little bit, but not a lot. I have had some of these magazines. There's just advertisements everywhere. I think it's more advertisement than actually content. There are good content in here. There's articles about a lot of different topics that will be interesting to magical people. And it's a little bit different articles than you'll find in your typical New Age type magazine. So yeah, I think this is a pretty good one, and I think that this issue had good articles. So yeah, I would recommend it. Of course, would I recommend this over a full book about some of these topics? No. It is what it is. It's a magazine. It has magazine articles, which is usually between 1 and 3 pages each article, so it's a limit to how much information it can give. So, If you are not familiar with any of these subjects and you just want some very quick overviews, then it might be interesting, but I would rather spend the money and, for example, get a book about elemental magic or a book about Telema, one of Crowley's books, for example, or a book about Wicca that will also discuss magical tools and so on and so forth. But if you can pick up this magazine fairly cheap, then yeah, it's a good issue. It has a lot of good information. It has some good art in it, and it is pretty nice. Now, it do heavily support a forum that I am not a part of. I guess you might find it there under you see that mail address. So I can't really discuss that forum at all. But for the magazine itself, I think I got my money's worth. It is pretty good. I'll give this issue a 7 out of 10, and I'm pleased with it. I hope you have enjoyed this review. Have a great day, and blessed be. Oh, and yes, if you want me to do more magazine reviews, both of the general, basically, this magazine, not just necessarily a single issue, but the magazine in general, and also single issues about magazines when it comes to magic, new age, all of those things, then do let me know. Because then I might do some more of them, because I do have ended up with a collection of magazines, though I don't buy them that often. So yeah, anyway, blessed be, and have a great day.